Hey you guys, it's me, TrainLover1974 here, and I am here to start a brand new series I've been thinking about. It's called Customs and Reviews. It's basically where I'll be reviewing items and showing off my customs I've done. The first one I'll be doing is with my Tankalongs, and here's a little small thing. I have been thinking about wanting to start my own Tankalong series. I do not know when it'll come out or if I still will do it, but I'm just wanting to tell you guys that. And I do promise I will try to get one out soon. Hopefully. I'll release the pilot episodes. But the first custom we'll be looking at is my Custom James. Origins James. Or Railway Series James. This James used to be just a lights and sounds James. Basically where his lamp would shine, if you pressed a button he would make noises. And maybe he would make chuffing noises if you push him back and forth. But this is basically how I made the custom. The engine was a bit beat up, including he didn't light up anymore because his batteries were corroded. But I decided I took this to a good opportunity. I also had an old Douglas that was ruined, but I did have his old tender which was not doing it. So I thought, until I remembered about the Railway Series Jim had a similar tender that looked like Donald and Douglas's. So I decided, hey, why don't I just do this? What I did was I took the engine apart by taking off the chassis, and then I removed the shell. I then painted the whole shell black at first. I didn't paint this yet until then. After I painted the whole shell, after it dried, I then put red lining on it, all around its edges. This sort of helped me design the lining. I also put lining along the, whatever these things are. Splashers. I also put some red lining here. I also painted his whistle, even put some cab windows. And then I painted his domed gold. And then I painted his running board white, and then I put his shell back together. I also added a little detail by painting his buffers white, because that's apparently what his buffers look like in the Railway series. So this is Railway Series 2. Now we're going to move to his tender. His tender was a bit easier to do. What I did was I painted all black and then added some red lining, then added a 5. I say this was a good success because this was my first time actually adding lining onto them. I then also painted his buffers white. And then that came to Origins James. Now, I know you've all seen him in my last video before New Year's last year, which was the Thomas and the Adventures Begin remake, the chase scene. But I'm glad I made this custom. And I say this was my first successful custom. Now we're going to move on to another one, which I have not shown off yet. This is Origin Thomas. The recent one I haven't shown off yet, until now. How I do? Well, I have a whole bunch of Tankalong Thomases I'm not doing with. And I thought, hey, I can use this one. I also used another one for a certain custom, but I'll be shown off soon. What I basically did was, I took it off its chassis, and then I painted the chassis, this whole thing here, white, just like in a TV show. I then painted his wheels green. I then painted the whole shell green, even the top here. But then I painted it black. I also took this off so this way I wouldn't get paint on it. Even I took out the coal parts this way so the coal wouldn't get messed up. Over here I did mess up a bit when we're adding the lining, but I refixed it. On the wheels, after they dried, I then added the little white rims around it, similar to how it is in the TV show. Then I painted the whistle and the windows, and even painted all around. I also redid the buffers to make them so cleaner again. I then reattached everything back together, and that led to Origins Thomas. I plan on doing a clip remake soon for The Adventure Begins, showing how Thomas came to Sodor. Well, that's Origins Thomas. Now, we're going to move to the third and final custom. This one, I was so proud I did. Timothy the Ghost Engine. As you all know, I have a wooden railway custom of Timothy the Ghost Engine, and I will show that off eventually, but this is my Tankalong custom. This one, I would say, was the hardest one I had to do. I actually had... Now, when I do these customs, I usually look up images of them, so this way then I know what to do. I tell you one thing, it was so hard for me to figure out which image to do for Timothy, because I was trying to figure out what the lining would look like and all that. So, I first painted the whole shell white. After taking it apart, I painted the shell white. And then, as you all know, what I did next was, I painted the eyes black, and also painted the mouth black. Trying to make it look like a smile. I then put white marks to look like teeth, how the movie describes it. I also added the red eyes, and it's just adding little red dots of red paint. Then the shell. Now this was the hardest part I had to do for Timothy. What I did was, I started painting the line, but I actually messed up a bit here. So then I tried painting over it, and as you know, red and white do not mix and turn pink. Basically, all this turned pink, so I had to wipe it all off, redid the whole thing white. And then, I was very careful going around the dome, and finally, as you see, we got the right color. The sliding I did pretty well on following the shape of the boiler, including even doing a small lining here, as it was described in the movie, including on the splashers. The wheels were sort of easy to paint, considering they were just white. And then I also redid these with red. I also painted the buffers black. I also did these little black marks describing the door, basically. I also took out the coal to prevent it, repainted this black, and that led to Timothy. After letting it dry, then we have Timothy the Ghost Engine. Yeah, these were some of the most hardest customs I had to do, but I do admit I was really proud of them once I was finished. Like, it just feels like you accomplished something when you did this. Well, anyway, that is done with the first episode of reviews and customs. See you all next time, and thank you for lots of subscribers. Because I do not know by the time I get this video uploaded how many subscribers I'll have. Alright. Bye-bye. Holy crap, it's Timothy! Run! Ah! Why am I so lonely? I can't take life anymore.